Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret as to why when you start making money, it can cause you to get lazy, and that can cost you a lot of money. So let's get into it. The question that was sent in today was, how much can I make self-publishing on Amazon? And this is an excellent question, because whether you're considering of starting to self-publish on Amazon or you are self-publishing and doing terribly on Amazon, both of these reasons can sort of get into your head and make you decide maybe I shouldn't go this route, right? Because you may look at the average number of books that are being sold and thinking this is pretty low, or you've talked with other authors who have tried to sell on Amazon and haven't done very well. Now you've heard of some people who've done really well, and so then the question is, but what about for you? How much money can you reasonably expect to make if you start publishing your books on Amazon? And these are what we are going to answer in today's video. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. And hit the subscribe bell if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and leave a checkout below in the description, and you will see my absolutely free self-publishing checklist that has the secrets that are necessary for you to start earning on your books today. So, how much money can I make self-publishing on Amazon? Well, let me tell you a little bit about my own story. When I first got started self-publishing in 2015, I came out with my very first book and discovered, wow, I was able to make a sale once a week, once every other week, or something like that. It was actually terrible on the sales front. I was making a few dollars here and a few dollars there. It was barely enough, but it was enough to actually pay for better tools and better covers and better editing and a lot of the things that were necessary. So in other words, my initial money that was coming in, it was helping me to make more money off of my future books. But initially, we were talking about maybe $2 to $10 a week or something like that. You put a book out there and you're not really doing all that well with this non-optimized book. You're using poor tools and you're paying more money than you need to for services that are simply unnecessary. This is very, very common. And I even reached a point where I was like, well, is this even really worth it? Is it not a better way to make money on the internet? And then I came across some courses that I took. And one of the problems I did find with the courses that I took were they were so complicated and everything is all over the place and they're giving you thousands of things you need to do and it becomes way too much. And that was one of the reasons why I decided to create this channel, because I felt that it would be helpful to share with people many of the traps you can fall into and the overwhelm, but simply by breaking it down and keeping it simple so that you start earning serious money on your books without getting demotivated and simply dropping out before you even get to that point. So, how much can I make self-publishing on Amazon? Let's get into today's answers. So the first is you can earn quite a bit of money. Now, I've known people who were making from all of the books they had, they made, I think the record month was $40,000 in a single month as a result of that. In fact, I think it was Steve Scott who made $60,000 in one month. Now, this was during the golden age of Kindle, Amazon publishing. And so it's a little bit different today than it was back then. Not so easy. But when I first started and I wasn't making that much money, I discovered some tricks regarding optimizing your books to make sure they're going to be making sales in the first place. And the combination, which I've discussed before, but I think it is so important, you need to ask yourself, are you doing these steps to make sure that your books will sell when you're doing it, all the way from the beginning of before you've even started writing your book or paying somebody else to write your book for you? Are you sure that you're making the requests the right way? And that's where it comes down to. You need the right market. We need a hungry market that's ready to buy your books. We need to make sure your book is optimized. The title, the cover, the contents, the description, that those are all optimized, which I've discussed in other videos. You can check them out. The next is you're running ads against the video. Another one I didn't even mention here, which was building an email list and pulling in those emails so that you can ask them to become advanced review copies, where they receive your ARC team, as they call it, so that they would review your books. That's another one. Then you're putting out your book on as many platforms as possible, getting it distributed to every single area of the internet. And the final thing is that we're going to put it in multiple formats. And so we're having it in audiobook and paperback and hardback and ebook, Kindle, and EPUB, maybe even PDF. You have a whole series of different formats that we're going to want to sell our books in to ensure that we can maximize the sales on those books. But today's secret answer of the day is once we start making money on Amazon, let's say you are pulling in $1,000 a month, which is what I think on my best books, I was getting at $1,000 to $2,000 a month on my absolute best books. I still am pulling in, even with books that I put out years ago, still pulling in hundreds of dollars a month on a single book. So it's amazing what you actually can do within particular niches if you choose the correct niche. Now, this is the secret, it's that each book will drop in sales. Like I said, the books that were selling, making me $1,000, $2,000 a month, they're no longer making me that much money. And so what can happen is people get lazy. You put out those books, or it could be any product you're putting out, and you start seeing the money coming in, and you're thinking, wow, now I can go sit back on the beach and start earning passive income. And this is not true. Now, it is true those books will continue going for a very long time, but what happens is each book that we put out becomes part of our tail. Do you see it? And we want the more books we put out, it becomes a longer tail. The older books stop making as much money, but during periods, for example, during the current crisis that we're in right now, some of my older books suddenly start skyrocketing in sales because the topics are relevant to today. So people who are staying at home all the time, they're realizing there are things around the house they can do, which means those books become very interesting suddenly. So they were already in good markets, but now the market becomes even better because of shifts in what's going on in the world. And so that's something else to remember. But the fact is, if you only put a few books out and they're making a ton of money and you just sit back, you hit the lottery right on that, this is going to cost you a lot of money because you're going to get lazy and forget the techniques and you're going to quit putting out those books. So we have to keep on putting out books. And what happens is we create what's called that long tail, and the long tail will even make you more money for the long part of the tail it's no longer making tons of money, but these little bits of money that are being made across all of the different platforms for all of the different books, they can outsell your most current books. And that is a very important lesson that I hope if you haven't heard from somebody else, you've heard it from me now, which is that you can't stop. Do not get lazy on this process. We can, however, increase what we're doing. As the money increases, we can increase what we're spending and coming up with better tools and increasing the number of books that we're ordering. And this is a very important strategy that will help you make more money, is that using the good times to put even more books out there. So when the bad times come, we're continuing to see those sales on Amazon. So you definitely can make quite a bit of money. So how much can I make self-publishing on Amazon? What have you found? What has been your best month? What is your worst month? How much money do you consider to be a reasonable amount of money that would be worth investing or worth earning to make it worthwhile your time to consider publishing on Amazon? Go and let me know below in the comments. I respond to 100% of all comments that come in, so I would really love to hear what exactly you've learned. And check up above me here, and you can see more videos answering your self-publishing questions. Thanks.